Welcome back, Remodelites. What if I told you that made in China is not only more common than you thought, but also it didn't automatically mean something bad? We're going to get into that and much more tonight. Last night I covered a lot of products that are made in the US because a lot of people are asking me, Dave, what can I get that's actually made in the US? And there are a number of products that are made in the US. But there are also a number of products that are made in China that are still decent quality. It doesn't being made in China does not automatically mean that they're of poor quality. So we're going to get into that right now. The first, here we go. So the first company I want to bring your attention to is a company called Fairmont Designs. I'm going to share my screen with you now. Now, Fairmont Designs has a lot of different very cool designs, but they are still made in China. And however, they are definitely a solid wood vanity, dovetail design on the drawers, slow close on the hinges, and their quality comes very, very close to rivaling that of a company like Strasser that we covered yesterday. They have a lot of very trendy vanities, and a lot of their stuff does focus on current types of product offerings. Right now, a lot of brands are focusing in on either this matte black accent or these gold accents that you see here. And of course, you've got various themes from traditional, Art Deco, modern, all the way down the line. So you've got some furniture style, you got some that are floating, you've got some that are more of a cabinet style. And in general, there are just a lot of different options with this product line. One of the other things about their product line is almost everything is part of a product family, which means, let's say you decide on a collection. Let's say something like the Napa, which is very popular. Now, the Napa collection, interestingly enough, does have the option for a farmhouse sink as well. But if you decide on the Napa, you're going to have the option for a linen tower and several different size vanities. They have mirrors in almost any finish to match just about every design. So whatever you're going to do, you can get a complete set. So Fairmont Designs is one vanity company that is, even though it is made in China, it is definitely a high quality. They do have some of their proprietary solid surface material countertops. They have natural stone, they have quartz, and they have just standard porcelain countertops as well. So I encourage you guys to check them out, fairmontdesigns.com. I'll go ahead and link them below after the broadcast. Another similar company that I'm going to have an episode coming out here very soon. I actually got to meet these guys at KBIS, the Kitchen and Bath Industry Show. And this is a company called Vanity. Now, again, a lot of their products are made in China. However, they have good representation here in the United States, and they have distribution set up pretty much throughout. So Let's see here. The Madison. I had a customer that, or I'm sorry, was it the Madison or the Mason? Yeah, the Mason in the navy blue. Customer of mine just ordered this. It's coming in next month. We are experiencing a little bit of a shipping delay because of everything going on, COVID-19, coronavirus. But they have the Mason with both the navy blue and gold trims. So a vanity is another good one. Now they have a few more mirrors, including LED mirrors that bring them a little closer to competitively priced products out there. So look at that, MSRP 480 for an LED light up mirror. That Mason vanity in navy blue with the gold trim. I'll show you the MSRP on that one. This is the MSRP too, on let's say a 48-inch vanity. Actually, I think the one my customer just bought was a 30-inch vanity, so we'll look at that. Yeah, look at that. And MSRP is $1,350. I think the actual sell price was right around $900. So again, a very, very good option here for something like that. Of course, that price is without the countertop. Countertop could be anything from a $200 or $300 countertop up to really whatever you want it to be. So Huntington Brass. Huntington Brass is a company that I have known of for a long time. I've owned their products in my own home. That's why I can speak to it. I also have some videos and some interviews with them at KBiz over the last couple of years. And I'm happy to support their brands because, pardon me one second. I'll put that on silent. There we go. So I'm happy to support their products because they support me. Now, I do want to make one little disclaimer with their products. The Reliaflow is their very basic line, very inexpensive and much lighter weight material. Decor is sort of a mid-range product. It's on par with some of your Home Depot Delta type of stuff, but it's again a lower price point. And then this, the Platinum series here that you're seeing, this is, let's see, the Razzo right here. This is their solid brass product. Now, anything in the Platinum series, I'm happy to recommend. It's available in several different finishes, including matte black. But look at that, $297 MSRP on a widespread faucet made of solid brass. And that's just the suggested retail. So that is a product that, again, I am happy to recommend with any of these. It's a product I'm happy to recommend on any project. So I'm going to take a stop right here in the moment and just kind of explain to you the criteria that I'm using when I'm referring some of these brands. One is experience. I'm happy to support the brands that have supported me in the past, that have supported my customers, and my customers have been very happy with. That's, of course, obvious. For purposes of this broadcast, I'm leaving out brands that are already global brands. Brands like Kohler, Moen, Delta. These are global brands. So, of course, they have facilities in China where labor is cheaper. that's not what I'm talking about here. These lines that we're speaking of are actually brands that are Chinese based, whether they're Chinese companies or not. Their whole operation is based in China, even though they do have some US distribution. And that's what I'm talking to you about today. And I'm not necessarily saying that you should always buy these. I'm just presenting these as options to you so you know what is out there and what you're looking at. And maybe you'll come away from this with some questions of your own that you can ask when you're out there searching for product. So, and you'll be able to know what to look for when you're looking at some of these products. So, but like I said, I'm specifically leaving out brands like Kohler. I pick on Kohler a lot. They're big. It's okay. They have products from very basic entry level, low end to ultra premium, high end, and everything in between. So, and they do have facilities in the U.S., but they also have facilities in China, and that's not necessarily what I'm talking about. Also, what I'm not talking about is brands that are strictly import only brands. So you will get brands that basically buy it from some random factory in China, put their label on it, and ship it out. I'm going to show you real quick what that looks like so you understand the difference right here. So when you look at basically anything on like Alibaba or AliExpress, faucets, any of these that you're buying for $1.69 a piece or, $27 a piece, these are import only brands that even if they are made of quality materials, they are still probably going to have a much higher failure rate. And here's the kicker is you'll probably still be disappointed in yourself for buying something like this. The reason you're going to be disappointed is not tomorrow or next week, but in a year, 2 years, 3 years, when you need to find parts, the company may or may not be there. That's it. They may or may not be making that model, and they may or may not have parts. In fact, I would say with a high degree of certainty that it is very likely that a company that's importing this way is not going to have parts available for you. However, the companies that I'm presenting to you today all have, while they have the majority of their operation in China or Taiwan, they do have US-based distribution and US representation and a warranty that you can rely on if you put these products in your own home. And that is the difference. That is what we're talking about today. So just to be clear. So Danz is another one. Now, if you've been around plumbing for any length of time, you've probably heard the name Gerber at some point or another. No relation to the baby food that I'm aware of. But Gerber does own a brand called Danz. Now, the thing about that is the parent company of that is a company called Globe Union, which again is an import from Taiwan brand. Globe Union private labels for a number of different manufacturers, including Home Depot's own, at least as far as I'm aware. This was a few years ago, last time I checked. But I do believe they still private label for Home Depot's own private label, which is Pegasus. So Pegasus faucets from Home Depot are usually made by Globe Union. So, but I'm bringing up Danz specifically for one or two of their faucets right here in the kitchen that I have sold. In fact, one of their more popular kitchen faucets is a faucet called the Foodie. which I'll put a link to below. But we're going to sort by price high to low, just to show you their range. But again, we're dealing with a product that is a fairly high quality and especially good at warranties. The Foodie, you may recognize this faucet. I brought it out as an example in a couple different videos, I think. One, the episode where I covered the fixtures that were featured in the YouTube series Cobra Kai. And another where I talked about just in general how to pick a kitchen faucet. I have brought out the Foodie in both of those. This is their coil pre-rinse style faucet, and you can get it in a satin black, list price $481, which means you're probably going to buy that one for around $299 or less, which again, as it pertains to kitchen faucets, that's actually a really good deal for a quality piece of merchandise. So now that's not the only product within Danz's product offering, but it is one of their flagship products. They have some of your standard products as well. You know, they have showers. And basically, when I'm shopping for a shower or any sort of plumbing for the bathroom, I usually start with the faucet. And if you've watched this channel for any length of time, you probably already knew I was going to say that, because that's always how you start in a bathroom, is you start with the faucet. Once you find the faucet, we can always get a matching shower. So let's say you like the Parma series, very clean contemporary line. And in the Parma series, they do have a full line of products as well. So we say bathroom, we say collection Parma. And there you go. You've got shower heads, you've got tub spouts, you've got pretty much anything that you would need, all on a fairly reasonable budget. You know, you got this right here, $240 to $350 without the valve. That's any shower system, usually you buy the valve separately. The reason companies actually do this is actually very interesting. The reason companies sell valves separately is so distributors can stock the valves without having to stock the trims, because as you can see as we're going through this, these trims are available in anywhere from a few to dozens to hundreds of different style and color combinations. But they all will take the same valve or one of the same valves. You know, you'll have maybe two or three within each brand to pick from. So for a distributor to stock those valves and then just order the trims, that makes a lot of sense for folks who are specifically going through a remodel. For folks who are doing maybe a weekend project, it doesn't always make sense. But most remodels take at least a week or two, and it takes a week or two to get these products as a general rule. Now, Danz has very decent distribution out of the Chicago area. So every time I've ordered products, I've never had anything on any severe back orders. And we're still ordering products today and not seeing any serious back orders. So right now, they're doing pretty good. The second brand I want to bring up is another brand that I saw at KBIS, the Kitchen and Bath Industry Show. And this is a product called Thor. Now, anybody who is in marketing will tell you that, wait a minute, Thor Ranges? You know, Thor, the Norse god of thunder, you know, Norway, Vikings, Viking Ranges. You can see the correlation there. It's obvious that they were going on a sort of a parody type of naming scheme uh, when they were going for, when they were bringing this out. But they actually are standing pretty well on their own for a Chinese product. Now, it's a very simple product. It doesn't have a lot of electronics to it, which I tell that to some of my customers, and they're like, well, good, I want fewer electronics, which I don't get. But of course, I also have a YouTube channel. I like electronics. Without electronics, I wouldn't be talking to you today. So one of the actually one of the really cool features that I discovered while I was at the show that I'm really excited about is their under counter refrigerator drawers. Let's see, that's the indoor. This is the new model right here. This is the old model phasing out, and I don't think it's going to be available to us here in Southern California anymore. This is the new model, and this now when you look at refrigerator drawers, what this is a 24-inch refrigerator drawer. Let me see if I can pull up an image. Refrigerator drawer. Images. But you see some of those price tags up there, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. And the end result is going to look something like this. This one happens to be a Perlick, but you see how it's installed underneath the countertop. Here's another one installed next to a wine refrigerator there. Here's another one just installed in either like an island or a little peninsula or something like that next to a pantry. So these are 24-inch wide units. They're 24 wide, 24 deep, 34 and a half tall, standard cutout size for any dishwasher or under-counter refrigerator. And the cool thing about these is when you look at, I don't know if you saw on that Google search, but you're seeing prices ranging from $2,500, $3,000 on under-counter refrigerators. These right here go for $14.99. Yeah, they're literally half the price. So when I see stuff like that, my first thought is, oh, well, what's the quality like if it's half the price? Because that's just a natural consumer-centric reaction. I got to see it at the show, and they are as good a quality as half of the ones that are out there. They are, I wouldn't put them on the same level as like a True. A True is a higher grade quality, and for a True, you're going to pay upwards of 3,000 plus for a True. But for something, if you're looking at, say, a Danby or one of the more basic U-line products, these guys give them a good run for their money. And they're anywhere from 40 to 50% less. So it is a good reason to do this. So you guys might remember yesterday when I was telling you about a customer that got the built-in True refrigerator. She did it in black with copper handles. Well, in that same kitchen, we did a copper Z-line hood. I believe it was this one right here. Classic copper. Luxury copper. Yeah, this is the one right here. This luxury copper hood. And it turned out actually really good. And when we unpacked it, we actually unpacked it so we could go ahead and inspect it with the customer when the customer came to pick it up. And this thing was heavy duty. I was very surprised. I am not used to seeing things that are so inexpensive. I'm not used to seeing them this heavy duty, I was expecting something light and flimsy. This was not only a very well packaged product, which is a huge advantage all on its own, but also it was a very heavy duty product. And the customer got it put in and it looks beautiful. She's supposed to be sending me some pictures here in a few weeks. So I will, once she gets all the tile work done and everything. So I will share those with you when they come in. Now, some honorable mentions in this category. I want to talk to you just very briefly about, I mentioned Kohler. There's a lot of Kohler that does come out of China, but not all of it. It's sort of a mixed product line. Another mixed product line is LK. Now, if you remember, I did an episode maybe a month or two ago about the LK H2O water system for residential. But they also have a long history with doing sinks. Now, the thing about LK is their whole tagline and everything for years has been U.S. made product. And they still, to this day, will use U.S. stainless on most of their product. And the price is usually reflective of that when you're going to see, the $800, $900, $1,000 stainless steel sinks because they're made in the U.S. But we can look at some of their undermount, specifically. A few years back, they actually brought out a Crosstown series. And the Crosstown series, I'm going to show that to you right now, is a series of stainless steel sinks. They're usually a dual mount, either drop-in or undermount. Some of them are just straight up undermount. But they have a lot of different options in there. And this, you see, like this is your very typical 3322 undermount single basin. List price is only $729. You're going to end up picking that up for probably under $500. And this is an import product. I don't know specifically that it's coming from China, but I do know that it is coming from across the Pacific somewhere. So if somebody knows a little more detail about where it's coming from, feel free to leave it in the comments. But they do have this as an alternative. They knew somebody was going to knock them off, so they knocked themselves off first. Another company that has done the same thing is Electric Mirror. Now, if you've ever stayed in a super nice hotel and had a mirror that lights up around the perimeter, you've probably seen the Electric Mirror product. Electric Mirror makes for most of these hotels a lot of different custom sizes mirrors. Some of them have TVs in them, things like that. But they actually do have some products, and you can usually let price be your guide on this. They do have some of their products that are going to be more of an import line, usually from across the Pacific again. Let's see. All right, check my notes. Yeah, that is it for us today, guys. I know this was a short one, but I'm glad I got this information out to you. Let me know if you have any questions down below. The question to you is, have you ever bought an import from China? How did it go? What was your experience like? Go ahead and let me know. Leave it in the comments below. And make sure to click here for more videos. Click here to subscribe. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.